What is the significance of Jared Goff making the statement he did yesterday?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's significant, and any time the white players step up, and they've been doing it more often, it matters. And Jared Goff is on the young end, so I'm happy that he's doing it now, and maybe he didn't feel confident enough, or I guess wasn't in the league initially when some of this stuff started happening. And the same thing could be said for Mahomes, and Mahomes is black, so I think there's different expectations, or there should be different expectations for black players and white players. I don't necessarily think the black players should feel the obligation that they do to fix the problems that they didn't create. But I do think that it's important to understand that all these players now, these white players that are stepping up, from Tom Brady to Aaron Rodgers to Matt Ryan, these guys are stepping up now when it's safe. So while I do appreciate what they're doing, I'm super grateful, and I do think it has some value, I think it's important to understand that you show what you believe in and you show what you care about by sacrificing. And they aren't sacrificing anything now. Right now, it is safe. Where were they in 2016 when we needed them, when Colin needed them? Where were they in 2017, 2018, 2019, when we needed them to stand up for Colin at that point? And we needed them to stand up for black people in this country at that point. Megan Rapinoe was doing it. I don't know why they weren't. So I don't want to scare them off. I'm happy that they're here, but they were quiet as church mice back then, and now all of a sudden they want to roar like lions when everyone is like, hey, it's okay, it's safe now. So that has much less value. I hope that they mean what they say, and they show us that they mean what they say by taking it a step further, by actually sacrificing something, by actually taking some risk and putting themselves out there to address the issues that they say they suddenly believe in.
Jalen?
I agree with Domonique. And also, while it's very refreshing for people to look back at their look back at how they felt about a situation in the past and have a change of mind, there are a lot of people who frowned when slavery ended, when 3/5 of a man ended, when there were talks of reparations, when affirmative action became something that was being discussed. There were people that frowned about Colin having the nerve to take a knee during the national anthem. And his 1,300 or so NFL comrades, I appreciate now, like Domonique just said, that they have the courage that they can stand on the shoulders of giants and not have to worry about this season when hundreds of people are taking a knee, when at first it was 2, then it was like 15. The reason why they're able to do it now, they feel emboldened, they feel powerful, and they understand, frankly, they won't lose sponsorships. And so when you now go to an NFL game, you will see fans also taking a knee. So the movement has been co-opted. It has become mainstream, and I'm happily that it is. I love to see white folks carrying signs to say Black Lives Matter, because that's going to get us closer to our goals. But at the same time, these are players. You know who I want to hear from, Neek and Des? We're the coaches. We're the GMs. We're the owners. How about that? If you really want to get systematic change, it starts with the power. And if the owners really believed in what the players were saying, they would have did their version of a video like that. And don't ignore 2 words, Black Lives Matter, when you do it. And don't ignore I can't breathe. Don't ignore those statements if you decide to do one.
I will point out, I think we have seen some coaches that have been involved here. Yeah, Nick, help me with this. Dan Quinn, I remember seeing in a march, head coach of the Atlanta Falcons. Vic Fangio, after his initial comments, led some Broncos players.
There's a reason why you can name the 6 or 7 people out of the 250 people available.
It's fair.
And of the ownership class that you brought up, like, there's been a couple very benign comments that feel like something a youngster could write about unity and stuff, and most of the other owners have remained quiet. And I've noticed that it seems like, in Diana's report earlier, it seems like a lot of the other owners are trying to throw Jerry Jones out there as a sacrificial lamb, as a scapegoat, and say, well, he's the one we follow. We're waiting for him, because they want us all to attack him and keep saying his name as if they aren't powerful enough to stand on their own. Because I promise you, they stand on their own and fight him when it comes to money issues, when it comes to things that are impacting, when it comes to revenue sharing, when it comes to the Cowboys making a ton of money and some of these small market teams wanting them to pay some of that revenue sharing. I guarantee you they're not following his lead at that point. So all of a sudden, we're not going to fall for that racism play action that you're running right now, where you think we're all going to chase Jerry Jones. All of you are accountable, and all of you should speak up, and your silence speaks volumes.
Desmond?
Sorry, Des.
Go ahead, Desmond.
Yeah, well, I tell you what, Domonique hit it on the head because it's safe right now. I mean, the black athlete has had to shoulder this burden for far too long. When you think about Jesse Owens and Jalen mentioned it earlier, John Carlos and Tommy Smith, Muhammad Ali, the big meeting they had with Jim Brown and Muhammad Ali and Lou Alcindor, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and then Colin Kaepernick. The black athletes had to shoulder this burden for far too long. So it is refreshing. It's heartening to see now these white quarterbacks start to speak out and try to make it seem like now they understand what the issues are and they want to be a part of the change. But like Domonique said, what they did is they took their cue from Roger Goodell. See, once Roger Goodell released that video that he did, then now it became safer for a lot of these white quarterbacks and any other positions who want to speak out on these issues. I'm very happy now there's just not black athletes on the front line, black athletes making these statements. It's great to have other allies in this fight and this struggle, and I hope now that their words, that they just transfer into actions, into deeds that can help this cause, because black lives really do matter.
Again, I don't want to scare them off necessarily, but they are not on the front lines. Like, the front lines already happened. The soldiers that ran out there that took those shots have already come, and then they're coming in at the end wanting to wave the flag as if they contributed to this. So I, again, don't want to scare them off. What they did and what they're doing is minor, but it is valuable, and I do expect and hope that they'll do more. They'll take a step further and push us forward in this issue. And I do think that all the names you brought up of people who have kind of paved the way,